Ricotta to Double Click to Rubenza to Sensation, and I have to say it's hey flower friends, it is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler, and welcome to the live gardening show. How about it? Is this beautiful or what? This is just about every variety of Cosmo that we grow here on our farm. I'm trying to give you a close-up look, and I just couldn't separate these to show them to y'all. How beautiful are they? Would you like to have this for fall? I think I would. All right, friends. So, welcome to today's show. Today I'm going to be talking about some late summer planting, kind of like what we would be planting now, what we're starting now, both flowers and veggies. I'm going to be demonstrating soil blocking for the small blocker and the large blocker. And y'all, we have an amazing deal of the day, which you do not want to miss. You're going to see what's blooming now in the farm. Plus, we have our Bouquet studio, prize drawing for in-app viewers. And if you're watching from in the app, you get to participate. And we always do a little Q&A at the end of the show. So if you have a question you'd like for me to try to answer, in the comments, put @Lisa and then type whatever your question is. And the team gathers those up and then feeds me a few of them at the end. And I'll do my best to try to answer those for you. So before we jump in to the show, I want to just thank all of y'all for telling a friend about this show and sharing the show with your friends. And if you've never done that, there's a button down at the bottom of your screen inside the app that you can share and let your friends know that you're here and that we're live and that they can come on over and join you. Because the funnest part is talking with other live viewers in the comments. So did you know that I also do other shows during the week, y'all? There's also one on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. And then I started doing pop-up shows. So pop-up shows are totally unscheduled. That is totally on Lisa's time. And so what that means is if you don't have your notifications turned on inside your app, you won't even know about it. So be sure you check that out and turn your notifications on so you won't miss out on that. So there's just a couple of little pieces of housekeeping we need to do. Please be sure to include an update and check for typos, your email and your phone number here inside the app. If you used Apple Hide My Email or Google Shielded Email to log into the app, that doesn't give us your email address, so we can't send you a tracking ticket and we can't contact you if we needed to. And so check those out. Remember that here inside the app only, free shipping on seed packet only orders. That means if you only order seeds, we pay the shipping. And also for product purchases, we have a cap on shipping for $11.95. That means it does not matter how many products you purchase, you just pay $11.95 once. We ship to all 50 of the United States with no international shipping available. So if you are watching us from the app, if you just happen upon us on social media, I want you to know we do have a phone app. It's free and it's super quick to download. And when you're inside the app, you can do things like make a favorites list. You can watch replays. You can participate in the comments with the other live viewers during the live shows, as well as you can actually participate in the giveaway when you're inside the app. Now, if the comments inside the app get in the way of your view, you can swipe left or right, and those just get rid of that for you. Now, we frequently sell out of items that I talk about on the show or seeds. If you go to put something in your cart and it says out of stock, I would recommend that you get notified. That simply means that if the team is working behind the scene to bring stock over from our big website to the app, they'll know. You'll get a little ding on your phone to know that they're actually back. And also, friends, if you see people posting the sunflower, which is part of our logo, those are people identifying themselves as our online course student family. And we love it when they do that, as well as my Flower Farming Club members are also doing that. And it warms us to see all of those popping up in the comments. So thank you for that. Now, currently I have a free resource available. It's called 3 Foolproof Steps to Success with Cool Flowers. It's a free video. You can head over to our big website after the show. It's in the yellow banner at the top of every page. It says request it here. Just follow the directions. And so, friends, today I am giving away a $25 store credit and to one lucky live viewer. Tap that box at the top of the screen, and that puts you on the list that we actually select that from. Now, we always start the show off with my books just because they're so instructive and just so helpful for everybody. So before we jump into a bunch of flowers, let's look at the Cut Flower Handbook. This book is the book that I wrote that I wanted to be able to say to you, if you said to me, I don't know anything about growing cut flowers, how to do it, what to grow, how it all works, I would say, here's the book. This book has everything you need to grow a cut flower garden, from where to put it, how to prepare it, what to plant, how to set it up, what to grow, how to harvest it, how to condition it, everything, and what varieties to grow. It's all in here. The photography is beautiful. And when you purchase the book from us, you get a bonus PDF download. And that is the 6 flowers that we could not squeeze into the book, y'all. So that is in there. And I, of course, am honored to sign each and every copy of book that actually leaves here. So that is the Cut Flower Handbook. It's $30, and I would love to send you one. So my book, Vegetables Love Flowers, y'all, is not about growing vegetables, believe it or not. It's about why vegetables love flowers. It's why flowers benefit being in the presence of vegetables, or vegetables benefit from the flowers in their midst because of who they invite to the garden. This book really tells a little about the natural way, my gardening philosophy, and how to have a 3-season cutting garden. It's got layout and plans. And this book, when you purchase it from us, also comes with a free bonus. And this is a video book study. Would love to sign one of these for you. And then, of course, the book that started it all, y'all, and that is Cool Flowers. And we are heading into Cool Flower season right now. And we have a little special today. We have the Cool Flower book, and then we have the Cool Season Hardy Annual Seed Collection. We have paired them together. It's $46.95 for both of them. The book is really the first baby step to learning how to grow Cool Season Hardy Annuals in your garden. It helps you to figure out the timing and just how the whole concept works. The seed collection, this seed collection can actually all be direct sown. It has 6 individual packaged of seeds. It has Nigella, Love in a Mist, Corn Cockle, Iceland Poppies, Calendula, Larkspur, and Bupleurum. It includes a diagram with some additional instructions inside, and you get both of these for $46.95, and it's just a great way to get started, and now is the time for that. So the tip of the day is that it's not too late to plant. In my mind, and my motto, and what I really hit home in my book, the Cut Flower Handbook, is there's always something that can be done or planted for your garden, right? That means that there's always something to do. We plant seeds pretty much every month except December, and the only reason we don't do December is I want a little time off from taking care of seedlings, right? And so what this all really works around for fall planting or for fall anything is knowing when your first expected fall frost date is. And you could compare that so you know when your frost date is, right? And then you need to know from the seed that you want to grow days to maturity. That means from the day that you start the seed to when it's expected to bloom. And so, because you need to have time for it to grow, right? And then allow a couple extra weeks for you to actually harvest the flowers. Now, late summer planting is what we're kind of in right here on my farm now. So what are we planting now? So for fall flowers, we're actually planting or starting seeds of ornamental kale, which is the cut flower kale, which I'm going to demonstrate that in a moment. We're planting cosmos, marigolds, sunflowers, grass, amaranths. In addition to, we also planted lots of fall colors of the same flowers we've been growing all summer. Cockscomb, zinnias, all that kind of stuff, right? All right, so the other thing that we're actually starting now that I find most people forget about, which I used to be a forgetter too, because who's thinking about next spring at this point in the season, right? But now is the time to start those Sweet William varieties that need what's called vernalization. That's a cold treatment. And we grow and offer only 2 seeds that actually fall into this category. And that is the Electron and the Super Duplex. They're gorgeous Sweet Williams, but they need to be started now to get into the ground earlier in the fall than Cool Flowers does, so that they're established when your first cold period comes. Now, what vegetables can you be planting now? Edible kale, or starting to see squash and zucchini. We start them a couple more times before fall. Beans, just planted some of those yesterday. Lettuce, beets, and radishes. All of that cool season, great vegetables that you love eating in the fall, now is the time to start thinking about them. And if you need to be able to figure out when and how to plant them, that's when our vegetable planter. So see this red line right here. That is your frost date. You move that to when your first and last frost date. It has a, this is the spring side, this is the fall side. And it tells you when to start and when's the last time to start. For instance, did you know I just saw one of my big vegetable growing friends, they just got in the ground their last planting of tomatoes. 10,000 plants, y'all. In the middle of July, that's how farmers have tomatoes in the fall. This little guide, which is $5.95, will answer all your questions for vegetables and be really, really helpful. Now, the way that we start seeds around here most often is with our soil blocking, right? So I'm gonna make some soil blocks, and then I'm gonna show you how I sow some seeds, which is a little different than I do for most of our seeds. So let's just pull you down here. So this is the blocking mix. Sorry, y'all, you're a little crooked there, aren't you? This is the blocking mix, and it has the adequate amount of moisture. It's almost like soggy oatmeal, much wetter than any other method. This is the small blocker, which is the one that I use almost exclusively. And you push it down into the blocking mix a couple of times. I do that to make sure that the chambers are nice and full. And I use a potato masher to actually incorporate the water into the blocking mix and to clean the blocker off before I place it on the tray. Now, we use flat bottom trays with no drainage holes, which means you can actually take care of your seedlings anywhere in your home and not worry about water running everywhere. So then you just give it a push and a pull, and just that quick, we just made 20 little blocks, 20 little containers, y'all. That is pretty amazing, right? And then, so that's the small blocker. And now I want to show you how I use the large blocker. Now, the small blocker is what I use for all the seeds that'll fit in there. But there's always some seeds that won't fit. Think, let's see, sunflowers, sweet peas, squash, zucchini. And then you're going to see a little different way that I actually use it. This is the 2-inch blocker. And you're going to notice that it uses a lot more blocking mix. That is one reason that I always try to go small whenever I can. All right, so I filled the chambers up, and this makes 4 2-inch blocks. and I use the same type of tray. And these are reusable foam trays, y'all. We use them for years. So I'm gonna place this on the tray, give it a push and a pull, and just that quickly, I just made 4 2-inch containers, right? And I'm gonna show you how I sew those. But here's one of the things what drives me in my choice of which blocker to use. So these trays are the same, right? They're the same size. This tray would hold another set of 4, so that's 8 blocks. This would hold another set of 20. You can grow 40 plants on this little tray, or 8. You know, that is really what drives me to always try to go as small as possible. Now I'm gonna show you how I actually sow some seeds in here. So this is a little bit different, and you can think of ways to apply it to whatever it is that you're doing. But one of the seeds that we're starting at this time of the year is cut flower kale. For anybody not familiar, it looks just like the ornamental kale that you buy for your pots, except that it grows really tall, right? One of the problems with it is if you space it too far apart, it'll have enormous unusable stems, and they just don't grow tall enough. So we crowd them really tight in the bed. And one of the steps, I guess, efficiency steps that we can do, instead of putting one seed into each one of those little small blocks that we just made and then planting a whole bunch of rows, you can actually sow multiple seeds in a bigger block and then just plant those kind of close in the garden, but there's multiple seeds, so it really does a great job of delivering a plant that you can use as a cut flower. So here in my static free tray pan, I have kale seeds. Now kale needs to have its seed covered, so that means you push it down deeper. So I'm gonna plant like 6 seeds in this block. And so when I take this out and plant it out in the garden, I'm gonna follow the every 6-inch rule like I do with most of my plants, which means it'll be super easy to plant for our 6-inch planting grid netting that we use.
Swipe left or right to get rid of the comments if they're in the way.
So Suzanne reminded you that you can move the comments out of the way if you can't see what I'm doing. Maybe I can. So I'm just literally picking up a seed on my toothpick, and because there's no static electricity in the pan because it's aluminum, the seed literally just jumps right on. And so I'm just pushing the seed deep into the block. That covers the seed with soil. And literally, we'll have 6 seedlings in each one of these blocks. It's just super streamlined, efficient. So that's how I sow cut flower kale. And then I grow it up and treat it just like I do any other cool flower. Cooler air temperature, on a seedling heat mat, the whole rest of the process. Now, I want to show you, before I show you the kit, I want to show you some seedlings. So these are some marigolds. This is white swan. Y'all look at this germination. Look at that germination. You want to take that? Thank you, Bobo. Bobo, say hey. Hello. Look how great the germination is. This is 100 of the small blocks on this green tray, which is the deal of the day you're going to hear about in a minute. And then also what we have here is this is lemon basil. So all these will be planted probably next week. But there's 100 blocks on here. Now, if I use the 2-inch block, like if I was going to do cut flower kale, only 16 would fit on here. You know, are you getting the picture? Smaller is always better. And so, wish y'all could smell that. That is really amazing. So how can you get started soil blocking? And so customer #1 favorite product that we have sold for, I can't believe it, sister, it's 20 years. 2005 is when this kit was born. So this is the Soil Block Maker Kit. This includes the original Ladbroke soil blocker. There are counterfeits and knockoffs out there now, y'all, and they do not last. This is made in England. The makes 20 of the 3/4 inches. The kit includes my Seed Starting Made Easy online course that takes you through all the process, starting, growing inside, hardening off, getting them in the garden, as well as seed sowing out in the garden and planting sunflowers in plug trays. Lifetime unlimited access to that class, y'all. You don't have to hurry up and watch it. It's there whenever you need it. Then you have your choice of either 3 packs of cool season seeds or 3 packs of warm season seeds. Both of these are customer favorites. So you just have to select which one you want. And then we have, these are the trays that come with the kit. This has 3, I'm gonna actually put all those together, Bobo, and show them at the end. This holds 3 sets of 20. So each one of these trays holds 60 plants, y'all. Is that amazing? There's the seed pan, toothpicks, which is what I use to sow the seed, and these little wooden plant IDs, which I just use them as like little tools to handle my blocks. And it also comes with a bag of the ready-made mix. This 6-quart bag makes over 600 of those little 3/4 inch blocks, or, are you ready? 30 of the 2-inch blocks. So just another reason to always go small, y'all. So you get the blocker, the seeds, all of this, plus the soil, the blocking mix for $89.95, which is about a 15% savings, plus $11.95 shipping. And all of this stuff is available separately here inside the app. Now, if you need the large blocker, that can go away. So the large, soil set, not the large blocker, sister. Can we do the large blocker next? Yeah, let's do the large blocker. Yep, large blocker, which is the one you just saw me use to make those for the kale, come with this nipple, and that makes an indentation to receive like a big seed. But you saw that I just sowed my seeds around the edge and it worked beautifully. So this is $46.95. Again, these are the original Ladbroke tools from England, the ones that we use and absolutely love. And then if you want to be able to bump up a small 3/4 inch up to the 2-inch block, when do we do that? We do that for eucalyptus, tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant when we grow that. And this and sweet, no, we don't bump them, right. And so the insert is this little black square, and you can get 4 of those, and it's $9.95, and that means you can bump up if you want to. So here it is. I just didn't pick it up, y'all. That's what it looks like. So we keep these installed on our 2-inch blocker, and that way we can go either way, bump up or drop a big seed in there. So that is $9.95. All right, now, you saw that in your kit, it includes a bag of that ready-made mix, which is available separately. But if you want to make your own nutrient, your own blocking mix at home, we have some of the pieces that you really need to do that. So, and to actually just kind of be in your seed starting toolbox, right? So the first thing in this soil set is we have the fungus gnat fighting kit. If you've ever started seeds, you probably know who fungus gnats are. Those are the little gnats that fly around. They lay their eggs in the moist soil. So these bits are what we put in our watering can once a week, and that eliminates any larvae developing in the soil. And then these yellow sticky traps actually capture the adults that are flying around laying the darn eggs. So that comes in the set. It also includes a bag of the nutrient, which has the recipe where you add your peat moss or cocoa fiber and compost to this, and you're all set up and ready to roll to make your own. It has a seed pan, which you can never have enough of those, and the toothpick dispenser. That actually was our 25-year anniversary thing. And then, friends, this is the biggest part of this. This is the sifter. This fits perfectly on top of a 5-gallon bucket, meaning you can sift all your peat moss, compost, cocoa fiber, whatever you've got. We recommend sifting all seed starting products, whether it's the ready-made. You don't need chunks. Put them out in your gardens, but you don't need to be doing that with your soil blocks. So you get all of this good stuff for $58.95. And again, if let's just say you're getting the soil blocking kit, you don't pay any additional shipping to get this. You just add it onto your order. And everything is available separately inside the app. So I mentioned earlier about flat bottom trays. So these are foam reusable trays, and we love these things because we use them for years, y'all. Having no drainage holes means you can do seed starting anywhere you want. This is the mini. It's $1.95 for 5 of them, or $6.95 for a 25 pack. This is the small, which holds 2 sets of 20 or 2 sets of 4 of the big one, and it's $2.95 for 5 or $12.95 for a 25 pack. And then this is the tray that comes in the kit. We call these large. It's $3.95 for a 5 pack or $15.95 for a 25 pack. And you will love them. And friends, ding, 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 this is the deal of the day. And look what it is, our green trays. Y'all, we love these. We import these from England, just like we do the soil blockers. We love these. They're forever trays. They're hard, injected plastic, and they are reusable for years and years. We absolutely love them, and they are 20% off while supplies last, or until Sunday at 8 a.m. So a 5 pack is normally $29.95. It is on sale for $23.96 plus that shipping, but you only pay that shipping charge once, so make the most of it, y'all. And then there's a 10 pack available for $46.36. And so you will love these trays. They just work so well and make the most out of all of your space. And remember, that is until supplies run out or Sunday at 8 a.m. So y'all have probably heard me talk about our amazing little garden marker. This guy was made to withstand UV rays and moisture. And you can write on things like wood, plastic, masking tape, which is what we mark all of our trays with, and it'll hold up for over a season. And this is a great testament. This is one of our wooden stakes. These were our sweet peas from this fall. This fall was 2 years ago. This was outside for a year and a half, and look how clear you can still read it. This is one of those things you just cannot have enough of, these outdoor garden markers. We absolutely love them.
I keep one in my purse.
Suzanne keeps one in her purse. You just use it for and it's a fine point, so you can really read what you're actually, what you're writing. And so I mentioned earlier that, and after I sow my seeds, even cool season seeds go onto a seedling heat mat, y'all. You lower your room temperature so it's not super hot like you do for warm, but it is still consistent 24/7 warmth. It has a built-in thermostat. You can fit 4 of those 60 count trays like come in your kit on one seedling heat mat. It's $39.95, and there is a jumbo one of these available over on our big website if you need it. This is the missing piece that many people skip, that why you don't have consistent, quick, and uniform sprouting of seeds, right? Now, when we're watering our soil blocks, one of the things you want to be careful of is you want to have a watering can that has a gentle pour. You don't want a bunch of water to come out at once. This is one of our favorites, y'all. This is the long spout watering can. It is stainless steel. It holds 4 cups of water. You can mix your fertilizer in here. You can put your bits in here, whatever you need to do. And it's just pretty. So if you have house plants and stuff, this is one you can actually just leave sitting out. We love the long spout watering can. Now, what I add to my watering can once a week on Mondays is the Neptune's Harvest seaweed fish. Providing nutrition to your seedlings is just as important as providing out in the field, right? So this is 1 tablespoon to a gallon of water, so it goes a really long way. It's $18.95, and this is 18 ounces. So that lasts for a pretty long time. Now, we have a new fertilizer on board, y'all. I've been using this one for the last couple of years, and it's just different than the chicken litter. You know, I've often said when we're talking about buying compost, the thing I love to do when I'm getting products like that to add to my garden is different ingredients. That's what this is all about. It is just formulated from all organic products to grow amazing plants to feed your soil. So you can get all the numbers off of your off the website or on the actual store. I was just gonna look here. I was trying to find. I was looking to see what the main ingredients were because I was so impressed, which is what led me. Anyway, you'll have to read what's written about it in the app. But this is what we've been using on the farm in one specific garden for the last couple of years and totally love it. And I do believe that's an English company also. All right, friends, so we add dry organic fertilizer into every bed when we prep it, right? And that's just refurbishing what your plants have taken from it. And then the next step is what are we going to do for weed prevention? And the biodegradable film, which looks like plastic, but it's actually a plant byproduct, cornmeal, I think is what they say. And it's got a dark side and a light side. When we're making beds in the heat of summer like now, when we make the bed, we install it with the light side up. That helps us to keep our transplants cooler. And in the fall and winter, we install it with the black side up because that helps to solarize a little bit, right? Super easy to poke a hole in. You do not have to burn holes. This is made to be biodegradable. And we attribute the way that I was able to scale my flower farm to this because of how much weed prevention it created, and we weren't weeding, and we could grow a lot more flowers. So it comes in 3 lengths. It's all 48 inches wide, and we have videos showing you how to install it. We did it by hand for years, and then we got a bed maker that actually does it. So a 20-foot piece is $10.95. We also have it in 50-foot pieces. A 1-pack is $24.95, and a 6-pack of 50s is $119.95. And we now also have 100-footers available. Again, a 1-pack is $39.95, and a 3-pack is $110.95. So this breaks down. You can put mulch on top of it. You can turn it into the soil at the end of the crop, whatever it works out for your garden. But we absolutely love it. And let me tell you what has saved our life this year and last year. But I'm using it more this year than I ever have before. And y'all, this is insect netting. It is different than row cover, which I use row cover, what we now use row cover in cool season, and insect netting when it's warm outside, beyond the insect part, right? We use it to make a sun cap when we're planting all these annuals when it's 95 degrees outside. Even with the white side up on the film, they still get overheated. We use this to make a little shade cap on top of it. It allows more heat to escape, but it also allows more light through, so it grows great transplants. It's lightweight and stretchy like a pair of pantyhose. We secure it with either big clips or weight bags, and this is also available in 3 sizes. It's all 6.5 feet wide, just like a row cover. 20-foot piece is $33.95. A 50-foot piece is $82.95, and a 100-foot piece is $159.95. And I want to say that we have been planting beds, or Bobo's been planting beds in these 95-degree plus days, and this is why they're still alive. It just shades them and breaks that heat over exhaustion, and we really, really love it. And then what does Bobo, do you use this? She loves this cushy.
Except when the dog eats it.
Yeah, when the dog steals it, it's a problem. So this is our super cushy kneeler seat pad. It's 2 inches thick, y'all. It is made here in the United States. It is 15 by 20. It's lightweight, and believe it or not, having this little handle makes it really convenient. It's $42.95, and you ought to have one for yourself, and this is the gift to give somebody. I mean, my husband uses it to work on his Harley, on the concrete. It's really usable, and we love it. It's just a actually, they show pictures. They even show it's washable, resists chemicals, grease, and oil, easy to carry and store, made of heavy duty rubber. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. We love that thing. All right, a reminder, if you want to be included in the giveaway list to be a potential winner, hit the button now. You have to be here live in the app to actually be able to win. And so in case you joined late, I'll be doing a little Q&A at the end of the show. So if you have a question, put @Lisa in the comments, type your question, and the team will gather those up. And now we are up. Susie Q is coming up to do the Bouquet studio. She's been to the thrift store again, y'all. She has bought more vases. Take it away, sister.
Hey guys, how are ya? Yes, my husband and I went to the thrift store yesterday. We had so much fun. Sister, you've been crooked. Straighten you up a little bit. We had a great time. They had a lot of containers. Some I bought for my house, some I bought for here. But I found what I was looking for, and that was a short container to show you guys how we can make something beautiful go in something short. Most people take their bouquets home from the grocery store or from the farmer's market and just throw them in a tall container. And how can you see these beautiful things if they're in a tall container up here? You don't want to look at the sides of the flowers, you want to look at the tops of the flowers. So these are all of our summer favorites. We have Azeratum, basil, some zinnias and sunflowers. And I'm just going to throw them together in a quick bouquet. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Again, if you've watched me before, I hold them at the bottom and I try to separate them a little bit. And then I do things in opposite corners. Look at this one. It's got a lot of personality. I love that one. Our zinnias, we were just saying how these are some of the best zinnias we've had. We haven't had a lot of rain, so they've been able to really take advantage of the extra sunlight. Let me see if I can push this back just a little bit so you can see. I'll try to stand back. So I've got my zinnias. Put a little basil.
Are those Whopper zinnias or what?
Yeah,
I mean,
huge.
We just, having low rain this season is stressful for us, but our zinnias love that.
Yep. So I'm putting a little basil around the edges again, like a triangle, one on 3 sides. That just helps fill everything out. Put some Azeratum in. This Azeratum is really bloomed out. It's beautiful.
That's the best color, isn't it?
It is. The blue pops. So again, I'm holding the stems down low, making a triangle when I'm adding flowers. So let's get in some sunflowers. Now, one thing I do with the sunflowers is I tend to put them a little bit above the other flowers because of their shape, and they're just happy, especially if they haven't opened up yet, because they will continue to open. So again, see, I kind of have a little triangle going with my sunflowers. And I actually have 2 more sunflowers, so we're going with 5 today. And I'm going to push him down in there a little bit. All right, so this sunflower is going over here. So now I'm going to add some more zinnias. And after I cut it and put it in the container, we can go back and add some greenery or things around the bottom to make it look a little bit better. But we're going to cut this one short. All right. So this is a pretty good sized bunch. I have them filled my hand up. But how are we going to get this to fit into this? Well, you guessed it. We are going to cut the hazu out of this.
Don't cut your finger off.
And you have to be careful where your fingers are so you know not to cut your fingers off. And I usually, Ellen, the florist, was here doing demos at the open farm. She says, and if you're a beginner, you can hold it to the vase like this. Well, yes, that is the easiest way. That's the way I like the best. I'm just holding it down. I don't know if you can see, I'm holding it down where I want it to go, and you see the stem sticking down. I'm just going to note where that is so that I can cut it. Bobo has brought my compost bin over. Just be mindful where your fingers are. And the other thing is that I always cut it too tall the first try, so we're going to try shoving it in here and see how it works. And if it's too tall, we will cut it again.
Borderline.
And
That's why they fall over, y'all, because they're hitting the bottom.
And that, don't be afraid to cut it, cut it, cut it. If it's too short, they'll hang out and they'll still be okay. So I'm cutting another inch or so off of it.
And you know, it's how many, I want y'all to start noticing when you're on Instagram scrolling through all these arrangements on tables, particularly these magazines. They have like 12, 14, 18-inch tall arrangements with a dinner plate here and a dinner plate there. You'd never see the person you're eating dinner with.
Yep.
This is how that needs to be.
Short is the best.
That's the rule.
What's
You
that?
got it. You got it. You got it.
Come on, Bubba,
Come
over
here and show us. Show us.
Tell us what that is.
That's the rule. Put your hand out so you're not up high and do your wrist. There she is. She's right there.
So for a table arrangement, we are right on target. So visit your thrift store, reuse those old containers. I tell you, I found some really good things. You might notice that back here we have some more, especially the white small containers. Found some great ones at the thrift store, and they're beautiful just to have as decoration.
Gravy boats.
Yep, gravy boats. There's the little gravy boat I got. Where is this? It? Yeah. Found this little gravy boat, which we'll be arranging into this in the future. But just love this, especially for a little table arrangement. And don't be afraid to cut your flowers short, especially if they're going to be on a table you're eating at. But
Show
even
that
if
a
this
little
is
bit. Turn around.
even if this is your side table, sitting next to your recliner, you can see the flowers so much better. So I just like short arrangements. That's
Well, and you know what I think I find too, because Suzanne and I have really made it part of our business throughout the years. We share bouquets with friends that they're sick or whatever. And if we leave them tall and give them, then you go to their house later and you see that they've got them strangled in a tall, skinny vase. I just think it's so beneficial for those situations to take them the way they should be, meaning having lots of extra thrift store vases,
Yep.
cut them short, deliver them short, and people literally will sit and gaze at them for hours, especially if they're sick. That's what we hear from them.
So you all be sure to take your pictures of your thrift store find vases with flowers in them and send them to info@thegardenersworkshop.com.
And tag us on social.
Yes, and we would love to see them. Y'all have fun.
All right, thank you, sister. So it's time to move on to all these flowers we have here. And I always kick off the flower seed showing time with our desiccant packs, because my motto is I try to buy the seed when I meet the flower. When I see a flower, literally if I go to a farm and on the way home, I am literally online ordering the seeds of the stuff that I saw that day, even though I might not be planting it then. That's where desiccants come in. This is what helps you to keep the soil, the seeds dry, and you keep them in cool, like in a refrigerator or a freezer, the appropriate way. And so you can get a 2-pack of these for $10.95, or, did I say $10.95? Sorry. 2-pack for $2.95, or a 10-pack for $9.95. They're just something great to have available when you actually need them to store your seeds. And I don't know if y'all know this, but here on the farm for the last 2 or 3 years now, we don't actually buy seed for the farm anymore. We just bring seed from the warehouse, the same exact seed packets that you're ordering. Bobo texts Susie and sends the list up there, and they send the seeds here to the farm. So I'm starting from the same seeds that you're starting from. And that is just a lot of fun. So now we're going to run through our summer harvest, friends. And y'all know that Cockscomb has always been a huge crop for us. This is the chief mix, which is where I recommend everybody start if you've not grown Cockscomb. Gorgeous, great colors, and it is huge. Now we're going to look at some of those colors individually. This is the gold. I find this one useful as early and as late as I can have it. We'll have this up until frost. It's just a great one stick of this in your mixed bouquets. People love this stuff. They just don't know what it is, and it lasts forever. Oh, I did that backwards, didn't I, sister? Did you do it back? Okay. So that was gold. This is what they call Corona. This is a bicolor, and look at the variation, how it's kind of pale yellow and then gold. This is really kind of cool. You know, people are intrigued by this color. So that's Corona, and that would be a great one for fall. And this is Higyoku. So Higyoku comes in 2 different varieties. But the variety difference is not so much about the color, but it is as the, you have the red stem up. All right, it's the color of the foliage that is different about them. So this is what's called the red stem. It's a gorgeous red color, but this color of the stem and the foliage is so wonderful for late in the season. I wouldn't be growing this early in the season. This is definitely a second or a third succession. And then this is his sister. This is green stem, right? And so the color's a little bit different. It's more like, it's very similar to the red orange from Chief. So this is a really great fall color. And then this is Persimmon Chief. Persimmon is orange, y'all. Orange is my favorite color. Look how gorgeous these are. You know, 3 stems of this in our supermarket straight bunches. I mean, they would take as many as we had for them. People love this stuff. It is so very, very beautiful. So that's persimmon. And somewhere, this is, now we're on to Orange Queen. Look at this, y'all. This is a paler orange, but yet it's bright. I can't tell you how beautiful it is out in the garden. It is kind of a little bit more vibrant, and with pink, look with my shirt. This is an amazing summer and fall color. This is Orange Queen improved. And then this, I want to compare them, but this is Jura Salmon. This is a much softer. We had this seed grown for us. This is definitely a limited quantity. But for those people selling to florists and to event people, this is really a beautiful, very popular color. It's called Jura Salmon. And then you can see the difference. You can just see that Queen is brighter and doesn't have that pale range in those that actually, this is red orange. We already did persimmon, and I skipped over that. I just missed that one. All right, so now we are at, for anybody that's been around for a while, in the flower farming world may remember going to the Kramer's farm in Pennsylvania to visit. This is called Kramer's Mix. It's also available in the individual colors here in the app. This is the rose, this is green, and this is the burgundy. This particular variety was really selected down by the Kramers for drying. This holds its color really well when it dries, and we have it as a mix and in separate colors, and it is really beautiful. Now, I mentioned earlier that I grew the tallest Cockscomb green that I've ever grown. So I've grown spring green, which is what this is, for years. This is a single stem, one plant gives you one bloom. It's pricier seed, but it's worth it because it's so useful. Our commercial customers really love this stuff. And so it's always been great. I've loved it. And then about 3 years ago, ACT came out. And it looks so much, it's caught on something. There it is.
The tall one.
It's the tall one. So ACT came out, and it looks really, really similar to spring green. I mean, there's a little bit of difference in the ribboning. Well, y'all, look how tall this stuff is. It's absolutely amazing. So let me tell you what I have figured out. Spring green is quicker to bloom. I don't know the number of days, but I'm just going to use for an example. Let's just say spring green is 60 days from seed to bloom. That's not correct, but let's just say 60 days. ACT is more like 85 to 90 days. And those additional days allow it to grow up even taller before it blooms. So I can start both seed at the same time and get about 4 weeks of harvest, work on the spring green for a couple of weeks, and then this starts. But if you have trouble getting height in Cockscomb and you want a single stem variety, ACT is an excellent selection. And we'll have the colors. I think it won't be ready till next week or the week after. But it's amazing. This pricier, look how beautiful that is on the side.
At least we plant it closer together, too.
Yeah, and the spacing is different on singles, but it's just worth it. It's slow to go to seed. That's another reason that makes it pricier, but we love the greens for sure. Now here is the Selway Terracotta. This is a plume. You know, we're all about the actual, all the family of Salosias. This is just a great fall color. It has a great growth habit. And then here's another really favorite, and that is Flamingo Feather, y'all. Look at that. It's just a great color. It's kind of a blushy color. It's just soft, and again, if you're selling to event people, and then this is High Z, which is one of my favorite. Excellent red stem, great foliage, a nice magenta color. Really love that. And then this is another one that we had grown. This is our Texas plumes, y'all. And if you're only going to grow one Salosia plume, this is the one to grow. It has a wide array of colors from shrimp to red to white, green to yellow. It's just got a wide, and look how big they are. And they're like this tall out in the garden, so you don't really have a struggle. So Texas plumes, again, this was a seed that was grown for us, so that means it's limited quantities, and we have a little special deal for growers in there too, so be sure to check that out. Then next, we have, it's Sunday. So this is another, I grow all the plumes, y'all. Salosia plumes were in our top 10 cash crop right along with Cockscomb. This is the Sunday mix. Look at this hot pink, orange, yellow. I mean, look at the yellow. There's so many great, and all the colors are available. Not all of them. Some of the colors are available separately. Orange and hot pink are the two favorites for me. They are really beautiful and useful. It has great foliage, and they're high branchers. They really produce a lot. So this is old, y'all, but I cut it because I wanted to show you. This is sylphid, and some people may look at that and say, that looks pretty okay, but it's already starting to develop seed, and that means you should not sell it as a cut flower. Because if it's on the verge, it's going to drop seeds all over your customer's table. But this is a great color. Sylphid grows really tall also. High brancher, all of them really benefit from being pinched. But that's a really universal color. So are we not turning? Is that?
It's Mr. Page. So
okay. All right, so now this is a cool flower, y'all. So this is one that I plant in very early spring. This is peach strawflowers. But what we've learned is that we can succession plant them even after that, which is what these are a result of. And they will bloom during the summer. If you're having a bad zinnia year, high disease or something, this is what saved us in our bouquets. And this is the peach mix that is absolutely beautiful. And then we have a mix of all the colors, does not include peach. It has several colors in it. This is the Strawflowers, but all these colors are also individual. Totally love this gold and this hot pink. I think they call it bright pink. But if you're just learning to meet Strawflowers, I would start with the mix. They dry beautifully, but they are amazing in bouquets, for mixed bouquets. Because one of the things that we've learned through the years of doing bouquet programs, whether it's at farmer's market, bouquet subscriptions, supermarket bouquets, just tons of bouquets, y'all, is people love long-lasting flowers. They feel like they're getting more for their money, right? So that's why we always highlight that. Now, speaking of long-lasting flowers, this is Gomphrena, and I've got all the colors, y'all. This is carmine, right?
Yeah.
This is carmine. Look how tall these are this year. No rain, little rain really helps some plants do really well. This is carmine pink. It's really nice. And of course, Gomphrena dries just like Strawflowers. They look exactly like they do. This is Strawberry Fields. You should have 2 tons of this for 4th of July for your bouquets. Look at that. It is red. It is so nice. And then they make a mix. This is called Gomphrena mix, and this has, in addition to the red and the pink, it has an orange, which just kind of is a nice mix. Okay, you can have that. You can have both of those.
We're bringing the mix up now. Sorry, I was behind.
So okay, so Suzanne's bringing up the mix now. What's next?
Next is the white.
All right, so look at this, y'all. Look how tall it is. And this, we love the Audra series. And all the next 4 that you're gonna see. This is white. This is one that should be succession planted over and over. The growth habit is amazing. The stem length is unbelievable. Dries beautifully. This is great for crafting, fresh bouquets, just lots of options. And white is just a great color.
And I kept my cool when I was cutting it.
Yeah, Bobo and Gomphrena don't get along, but she likes this one, y'all. So that says a lot. This is the purple. This is probably the most useful mixed bouquet color. It's just popping. People don't like soft. It's not that people don't like soft colors. It just doesn't make the bouquet pop. Purple is the best. I love the purple. Is pink next? Or bicolor or pink?
It is the rose.
Rose.
A rose bicolor.
And then look at this cool one. Look how neat that. People love this one. They just think it's fun. They think it looks like a bunch of little eyeballs. They think it's really funky. So that's really cool. That's bicolor. And then I love this one, y'all. This is soft pink. And I mean, I just think of little girl baby showers when I think of this, how pretty that would be. Little nosegays. That is really fun. And then they call it Audra Pastels Mix. And that has it doesn't have purple, but it has the pink, the white, and the bicolor. So you only buy 1 pack of seeds to get all those colors. That's what's really cool, right? All right, so then we're on to, y'all, marigolds. This is one of the things we're still planting. How awesome. I mean, does this look like candy corn? I love giving away marigold bouquets at Halloween. Marigolds like short days. So they are awesome fall harvests. Oh, you can just lay those down and then I'll hand you these. So which sunflower is first, sister? Bouquet? Okay. All right, so this, all right, so this is our in-house Pro Cut mix that we make here at the Gardener's Workshop. This has 4 of the different Pro Cut orange family. It has some of those horizon that the blooms face upward. And then it has Excel, Brilliance, and this is just a really great mix to grow because you get all 4 of them and you can make a bouquet. And a lot of these, and this is the stage to harvest, y'all. This is how I like them right here. Just as they're starting to lift like this, we plant this family, Pro Cuts, once a week through the end of September. My first frost date is mid-November. So it's not too late for most people to plant sunflowers as long as you plant the right ones, and this is them. And then we have, last week we didn't do a show on Friday. Well, that was the week that Sunfill was ready. Sunfill is not in the Pro Cut family, but it's the same number of days. And this is why we grow it. This is the bud, this right here. That's one single stem. We, in bouquet time, love having 1 stick of this to add to every bouquet. People think it looks like a succulent, y'all. But because they were due in last week, they went on to open. They're funky. They're funky sunflowers. My sister loves them. Their petals are just really funky. So they're super cool. So Sunfill is another great one to grow, but we grow it weekly as a filler, y'all. That is a great use. There is, here they are. And then we also have the Pro Cut Gold, which is the green center with the yellow or gold actual petals, which is really kind of a fun change up. And then look at this, y'all. How many bouquets do you think needs this added to it? What a great poppin' color. This is Azeratum, and this is how it should look in your customer's vase. This is not how you cut it. We don't let you cut it before it gets really fuzzy, right? But how beautiful. This is the finished product and it is absolutely beautiful. Now we're on to basil. This is our secret weapon of why it smells so good. This is cinnamon, which we typically grow for fall around here. Because look, it's darker. It's got a darker spike, darker stems, and it smells like cinnamon, y'all. But I will say that our lemon always is the top bill. Customers love, this is Miss Burns lemon. We've grown this one for 25 years, and customers love it. It smells like you just cut a lemon. and it's a nice light color. But we have something new, y'all, and it's not ready yet, but if you want to get on the wait list, this is the Everleaf Lemon, and I want to separate these. This is why we love it. The big thing about this basil is it grows taller, but even more importantly than that, it is much slower to go to bloom. So you can have this amazing, just green foliage. Look how tall it is, y'all. And it smells like lemons. So this will be coming in if you want to be notified as soon as it's available out of packaging. Get on the wait list. Love this stuff. And then when it blooms, it's beautiful too. But we want foliage without blooms, right? We just want filler foliage. And this is it. We love that. And then, hope you have a lot of this planned for the fall. This is explosion grass. And this is what it should be doing in the vase. I don't know if y'all can see this, it's like it's iridescent. It's almost like those Christmas lights you see that are kind of weird with LED little bulbs at the end. Explosion grass is really nice. This is how, I'm trying to find one that's at the right. They're all moved along since we cut it. Here's one. That's how you should cut it. See how it's just coming out? It quickly moves to this. And people love this stuff.
Good for 4th of July.
Yeah.
It takes over your bouquet.
Yeah. And then, friends, as always, good old zinnias. These are the Benary's Giant Mix. Y'all, look at this yellow. Oh my gosh. All of these colors are available individually inside the app. But this is the mix. If you've never, look at the size of this. Oh my gosh, look at that salmon. Y'all, that's why #1 seed we sell is Benary's Mix. And there's a reason why. They're the biggest, most voluptuous of all the zinnias, and they're just amazing. And then this, which is one of my favorites, this is the Oklahoma Mix. This is just like the Benary's Giants, except it's smaller. There's very voluptuous, great colors, and it's just fun to have different size flowers to put in your bouquet. And I need Queen back there.
Oh, I thought Queen Lime was next.
It's the
Okay,
mix.
sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. The names are close. Look at this. Is that beautiful? Would you want this in the fall? I would say so. Look at all of those beautiful colors. And this is the mix. And all the colors are available individually. But, again, I say if you're a small grower or if you're just meeting a flower, plant the mix and see the colors that you really love. And then we have the Benary's Lime Green. The green is great to be used as filler, y'all. People love lime green. But this is the Benary's Lime Green. And let me have those, Bobo. I was going to show them. And these are what we call rogues. Those are random flowers that show up. And this particular flower frequently shows up in the lime green. So if you get them, that's what that is all about. Now, we're going to do something different this week. For all those cosmos, I'm going to just show you which one's up first, Sister Rubenza. I'm going to actually just pop the blooms off. So the first one up is Rubenza. Rubenza is one of my most favorite, and this is not, we've had high heat here, y'all, and so the cosmos are not very happy right now. This is a great one for fall. See how dark and beautiful it is? But look at this. It's like a pair of stonewashed jeans. This is what it does as it ages. It kind of looks like a pair of stonewashed jeans. It just really fades, and it lasts the longest lasting single bloom that I have ever grown. So that is Rubenza. And then we have this next one that I'm going to show you, which is Sensation Mix, is the one that I would say is really the one if you just want to have a lot of butterflies and hummingbirds, and maybe not just specifically for cutting. That is the Sensation Mix. It's made up of a bunch of different single petal cosmos, and it grows really tall, and the butterflies are just crazy all over it. And there's just such a variety. We just didn't have enough different ones. Oh, and so I can't see them.
Double click.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorites. So double click is the greatest for cut flowers, right? And the more petal tissue there is, the longer they last. And this one is the violet bicolor, and I absolutely love this one. It just adds interest, right? It's white with a blush of violet on it, and the double clicks just have so much more, I want to say tissue, but that doesn't sound very good, does it? It's petals. More petals make it last longer. This is Snow Puff. Really love that one too. And all the double clicks. Oh, look at this one. This is one for fall right up there with Rubenza. But notice how dark that is? So you might not want, a whole bouquet of this, but how would that pop with some lighter colors? And that is all petals, y'all. Can you see that? That is all just a rows and rows and rows of petals. Pretty amazing. And then this is one of our favorite pinks. This is double click. Where? I can't see it. Yeah, Rose Bonbon. And look at all the little cut petals. It just makes them last longer, y'all. And then one that might not last quite as long, but while it lasts, it is really beautiful. This is Apricota. Can y'all see? It's kind of pink, and then it's got these salmon splashes on it. So just wanted to give you like a little bit of an up-close look. And then I'm gonna give you the tip of the year. Go easy, sister. So if anybody grows Purple Majesty grass, which kind of looks like this, right? So Purple Majesty has a very limited harvest window. Just as it's starting to emerge from the leaves is when we cut it. But I learned something on our open farm from Dave Dowling, because I had a bunch of it out in the field, trying not to stir this pollen up, y'all. This is what develops really quickly on the bloom. It's pollen. And you do not want this to happen in your customer's house. That's why you got to cut it really early. So we had just left these all out in the field. Dave Dowling walked over and said, well, you know what to do about this, right? And I said, well, no, what? And he then went to rubbing and getting all the pollen. It just easily falls off. And that's what I did to this one. And he said, it's just as useful after this stage as it is before. And so you can see there's a little residue right there. So you just, you have the person that doesn't have allergies, or you put a mask on and rub them and get the pollen off. And then you have another great fall, really well and easy to hydrate. Sister, I would say take that outside. Or Bobo. Just go slow, don't let it poof you.
And I won't kill them anymore.
Yeah. So that was just a really great tip that I loved learning from Dave Downing. So friends, it's time to wrap up. Stick around to the very end for the live Q&A, and I'll try to answer some questions. But just a reminder to everybody, remember to check out all of our free resources over on our big website, thegardenersworkshop.com. There's videos, blogs, podcasts, and remember, you can grab that free resource about the foolproof steps to success with cool flowers. That's at the top of every single page. Remember, we have 2 podcasts. We have Field and Garden, which I host, as well as Seed Talk with Lane and Lisa, and would love to have you connect with those. And on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock, new time, y'all, new time, 3 p.m. Is when I host Ask a Flower Farmer, or the Gardener's Workshop host, and I actually am the one hosting it this coming week. And remember that we have 2 live gardening shows now scheduled, this one on Fridays at 12, as well as Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. And don't forget to turn your notifications on so you don't miss if I do a pop-up shop, right? So remember to meet us back here next Friday, Next week, it's all about Salosia. So that'll be really fun. I'll be talking about the plumes and Cockscomb and giving some extra tips. And so friends, now it is time to announce our lucky winner of a $25 store credit. That means one lucky viewer is going to go to their cart and they're already going to have a $25 credit. And I hope you're here. So the winner is Nicole Bernardo. If you are here, Nicole, give us a big old shout out in the comments, and then the girls will drop 25 smackers right into your cart. So Nicole, if you're here, give us a shout out. And friends, stick around for the live Q&A, but if you're heading out, I really appreciate you joining us here today. So the live Q&A, friends, if we buy seeds from you now, will they be good to plant next year? What a great question. Yes, and particularly if you store them properly, they'll even last additional years most likely, and that means storing them cool and dry. So something that we do in our company is we don't pack seeds a year or two in advance as some do. We are always packing. And so we're turning our seed inventory over all the time. And that's one of the things I love about me starting all the seeds here on our farm from the same seeds that you're buying. So if there were ever to be a problem, we actually see it before you would see it. So that's a really great question. Keep them cool and dry and you'll be fine.
And Nicole's here.
Nicole, you're here. Congratulations. Thank you so much for participating. You are the lucky winner of 25 bucks. So the girls are dropping a credit in your cart right now. And oh my gosh, I'd get some green trays. I mean, I love when the winner applies it to something that's on special. That's like a double dip, right? All right, insect netting, can you cut it without fraying? Yes. And so it rolls up just like a t-shirt does, but it hasn't run or frayed for us, and I am using multiple pieces here on the farm. Would the insect netting work to shade my tomatoes in 100-degree weather? They are not happy. You surely can. I mean, so whenever you're trying to cool something off, you want to think about, you wouldn't like snug it down and not have some kind of support, because that traps a little bit of heat at 100 degrees with fabric of any kind right up against plant matter material. That can really overheat them even more than just being in the air, right? So if I had tomato plants, you know, I make this sun cap with low tunnels. You know, if you have tomato cages or however you're supporting your tomatoes, something you can attach to make that sun cap just up higher, for sure. I mean, it's 6.5 feet wide, so you have to keep that in mind. But yes, it does a great job of shading. You mentioned you plant Lisianthus early. Exactly when do you plant it? So Lisianthus is a cool season hardy annual. So we follow the cool flower concept, and we plant it in very early spring, which is 6 to 8 weeks before our first frost date. So when we order plugs, we have them ship in 2 weeks before that date so we can harden them off. But all of that is explained in Cool Flowers, as well as the Cut Flower Handbook even goes deeper. Zone 9A, Northwest Florida, Didiscus. Would you plant in very early spring? I only had one that made it when I planted it last fall. So that's a great question. You know, I say in my book, the Cut Flower Handbook, which really does a deep dive on figuring out when to plant cool and warm season, no matter where you live. You know, one of the things I say about people that live like where you do in Zone 9 and Zone 10, not 10 probably can't plant many cools, but you can plant all the cool season hardy annuals. However, it is harder for you to figure out when that sweet spot time is. What I think is the best time for people in warmer regions where you don't have a deep winter is to get, you don't really have a very early spring option, I don't think, because you go straight from winter into probably the heat of summer. I would plan on getting my transplants in the ground 6 to 8 weeks before the period of time that you experience the lowest temperatures. I'm just going to guess and say January, okay? So if January is where you have 3 weeks of the coldest temperatures of the year, I would plan to have my transplants ready to go in the ground 6 to 8 weeks before that time, because you want those transplants to really get well rooted in and established during the coolest period of time. And you're going to have to really experiment, unlike the rest of us that have a little bit clearer line in the sand, but that's what I would do. Our Rudbeckias cut and come again. So we only grow the hardy annual varieties, which is about 8 or 9 of them. And if you, they tend to bloom all at once. And if you keep them cut clean, which very few people, if any, ever do, because they're so productive, they will send up additional stems. But the question is, are the stems tall enough and abundant enough to make it worth doing that? So you'll have to experiment. Keep them fed, weeded, and watered. And that's the only way you're going to find out. And so I am going to answer one more question. And this is the one I'm going to answer. Which cockscomb varieties are not supposed to be pinched? Any cockscomb that is a single stem variety. And you have to read the instructions or the directions or the description to really find that out. But I'll tell you what the first flag is. Pricey seed. The expensive seed, Spring Green and Act and Bombay, and there's some others. Because they are low seed producers, that's what makes them so expensive, and they're fancy hybrids. So those are the current varieties, but the varieties change every 4 or 5 years. I used to grow another one I can't even remember the name of. So you have to read it in the description. But if it's a high price seed, then that's the first sign that yes, it's a single stem and you do not pinch them. So friends, I'm so glad you joined me here. I hope to see you again next week. Be sure to get the free resource. We are heading into cool flower country, y'all. So get ready, gather your planning thought, where you're gonna plant them, and get your resources together. And the first one is waiting for you over on my website, thegardenersworkshop.com. And